the most bitter.
Is this wild?
Time to get back on the top.
Let's get tuned up.
Play ball, okay? Just play ball.
Last Sunday in the Louisiana Superdome, the Eagles shook off their shroud of playoff failures, turning a 13-point deficit into a 16-point victory. They contained the infamous Dome Patrol and silenced New Orleans, as Philadelphia's newfound faith sent the Saints marching out of the playoffs. Tonight, Philadelphia face their bitter NFC East rivals, the Dallas Cowboys in Texas, and the faint-hearted have been warned.
Both teams don't like each other. Just like that.
We're going to beat the Eagles.
They met in Philadelphia during week 5 of the regular season as the Eagles ripped into the Cowboys.
It's a heated rivalry. It's been here for a long time.
They've been doing a lot of talking, and every time we've gotten ready to play them, they've done a lot of talking.
But 4 weeks later in Texas Stadium, the Cowboys bounced back to batter the Eagles, leaving them with a grudge to settle.
Head hunting here, head hunting there.
We're going to play a game. It's going to be a tough physical game, and you know, we're ready for the challenge.
This time it's sudden death. The winner plays San Francisco for the NFC Championship next week. The loser watches from home. Hello everyone and a warm welcome from our studios here in Atlanta. Well, there's certainly plenty of playoff fever here in America. Last night the Buffalo Bills stampeded the Pittsburgh Steelers, and San Francisco finally silenced the reigning Super Bowl champion Washington Redskins. Gary's been flying all night from San Francisco. Doesn't look all bad though, does he? And he'll have highlights of those games on Inside Stuff. But in our main game, we concentrate on the most intense rivalry in the NFL as the Philadelphia Eagles visit the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys have had an outstanding season, finishing top of the NFC East with a proud 13-3 record, while Philadelphia relied on a late surge to overtake Washington and Green Bay and finish with a more than respectable 11-5 record. In the last 5 years, the Eagles have dominated the Cowboys, winning 9 of their last 11 games, and here they are again, in each other's face. And to say they don't like each other is an understatement. Emmitt Smith actually said that Andre Waters deserves to break his leg a few weeks ago. Andre, known by his teammates as Dirty Waters, returns today, and I think he might have something to say to Emmitt. Dallas safety Thomas Everett was a little bit more diplomatic when he said, "I don't hate them, but I'm going to play like I hate them." We visited both teams during the week, and beneath all the talk is a lot of talent, a lot of emotion, but most of all, a lot of ambition. Familiarity breeds contempt, especially in the NFC East, where Philadelphia and Dallas know each other well. The Cowboys know about Eagles quarterback Randall Cunningham's dual passing and rushing threat. And Jim Jeffcoat and the Dallas defense know the man to stop.
Randall's got his confidence back, and he's playing as probably the best I've seen him the whole year.
I think that things are coming together now because we're believing.
Dallas quarterback Troy Aikman has newfound confidence and maturity, and a great downfield target in Michael Irvin. Trying to contain Irvin, the Eagles bring their battle-worn, hard-hitting backfield, led by Eric Allen.
Probably the best team in the NFL. You know, they have a #1 defense. They have a great running game, a great quarterback, great receivers. You know, you couldn't pull a tougher card. I don't know where you could. You know.
I don't think you can look at a defense in this league and say that that any defense has as much talent as what the Philadelphia Eagles have.
This is the Emmitt zone. On the ground, Dallas will rely on the league's leading running back, Emmitt Smith. But the Eagles will match him stride for stride with Herschel Walker. Heath Sherman.
Us in Dallas is like a fight, so it's gonna be a great game.
Stop the run. There's no question about it. We have to really stop that run, and that includes Randall.
We can't lose the games that people expect us to win when they're against tough opponents. We got to go out and we've got to win those games, and that's how we make it to the Super Bowl.
There are no easy games once you get into the playoffs, so you got to look forward to all of them.
Today, it will be confidence, momentum, but most of all, toughness that will drive one of these teams to the NFC Championship next week. So without further ado, let's join a sellout crowd of 65,000 at Texas Stadium. Our match commentators are Vern Lundquist and Dan Fouts. The Eagles have the ball on the first drive of the game on their own 44-yard line.
Single setback, and Cunningham to throw. Into the flat for Herschel Walker. They use him as a wide receiver. He was an outstanding pass catcher out of the backfield during his duration in Dallas.
Well, we've seen Randall very patient in the pocket on his first two pass attempts, just dumping it off to Herschel on the swing, and that time it paid off for him as it picked up about 8 yards. That builds confidence in a quarterback, something Kotite says is very important. He has a determined number 12 playing for him, but he still, Kotite that is, worries about his confidence level.
Second down and 2 officially. They hand it off to Heath Sherman, and he's got the first down as he crosses into Cowboy country at the 47-yard line.
Cunningham is off to a 3-for-3 start, so that bodes well for Eagle fans and for the Eagle offense. But this guy right here, Heath Sherman, has been so important lately for the Eagles. 105 yards last week against New Orleans. And this is why it's so hard to see back here, and he makes sharp cuts.
On 1st and 10, Kotite and the Eagles go with what they call an ace package. 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, and 1 running back. 1st and 10 at the Cowboy 47. Short set pass, Barnett. Hit immediately and dropped at the 41-yard line. That's a gain of 7 to Fred Barnett, who had 2 catches for touchdowns last week in New Orleans.
And we look at this formation. Here's Byers, and here's Mo Johnson. So this is the ace formation, 2 tight ends, and outside are 2 wide receivers. What this does is gives these Eagles balance across the entire line. Good pass protection there, and this is a nice 7-yard gain on first down.
That's a formation we might see a lot of during 3rd down and long today.
It's going to force Haley and the other defensive ends to rush wider and give Cunningham more room to scramble up the middle.
2nd and 3. Walker dances into the secondary with another Philadelphia first down. He is tackled at the 31 after a gain of 9.
Well, Baldinger and Alexander are going to open up a nice hole on the left side. 72 is Alexander. And watch as Herschel jumps through this hole for the first down. A 9-yard pickup, and this is his longest run in a playoff game. His previous long was 7 yards last week against New Orleans.
He would deny any emotion about this game, but if you know him, you know that the emotion is present.
Has to be.
1st and 10. Walker comes left. Bobs and weaves and breaks the tackle. And the Eagles are doing an early job on the #1 rushing defense in the National Football League.
And that time they went right at Charles Haley, number 94, and this is what they want to do. They feel that Haley is a little bit undersized for a defensive end. He's controlled by the tight end there. Barnett gets an excellent job kicking out the cornerback Brown, and it's a first down for the Eagles as they enter the red area.
And a gain of 13, already 27 yards for Herschel Walker. First down from the 17. Byers comes in motion, then turns back and leads Walker through the hole at right guard. And this time the defense holds, but a little bit of a twist on that running play as Byers turned back and was the lead blocker.
And the reason they call it the red area is that's an alert for the offense. Red is an alert color. It means stop. It means danger. Well, the danger is here that this is the area of the field where defenses like to blitz a lot. and no team likes to blitz more in this area than the Dallas Cowboys. That time, just too many bodies up there for Walker to get loose.
Second down and 8. No score. 8:05 to go, first quarter. Ace formation again. Play action. Cunningham with a bootleg. Chased by Haley, and Haley hits the ball. Incomplete.
This is an exceptional play by Charles Haley as he has to play the run and then come out on the bootleg. Watch his right hand get in on this play, and watch his left hand, his near hand. Outstanding play by Charles Haley.
Dave Wanstead said yesterday when asked which player had to come up big in this game defensively, Charles Haley. And he's had, though statistically not a sensational year, he has been the acknowledged leader of this defense since coming here from the 49ers. 3rd and 8. Fires again. Cunningham dodges right. Fires in the end zone. Incomplete. The intended receiver was Calvin Williams. And we will see another of the former Cowboys, Roger Ruzak. That was Kevin Smith, the first-round draft pick from A&M, defending.
But it was also characteristic of Cunningham to give his receiver a shot at that ball. And the smart thing was is he threw it in an area where only his receiver could catch it, or it would go out of bounds and not turn into an interception.
Ruzek has had 3 field goals blocked this year. The center is Pat Beach. The holder is Jeff Feagles. 33 yards out. And that one is perfect. It's a 32-yard field goal for a man who was cut by the Dallas Cowboys in 1989. Cut, as a matter of fact, by that man. Roger Ruzek, who sprained an ankle on an extra point when hit late last week in New Orleans, will kick off. And Kelvin Martin is the deep man. 3-0 Philly. That one takes a high bounce, and Kelvin Martin has it for 13. Got some room. Tackle from behind. Scott Kowalkowski got him. But he still removes it to the 47-yard line. Make it the 46.
They call him Kmart, and Kelvin Martin is really an Eagle killer. He has had outstanding games against Philadelphia, not only returning kicks but receiving. This big hop really kind of froze the Eagles, and it's a touchdown-saving tackle from behind by Kowalkowski, where Martin is gone. Watch the wedge open up to the right side here. Vincent Smith and Clayton Holmes are going to get big blocks. There's Holmes.
Aikman will throw on first down. Johnston, it's too high and behind him. 2nd and 10, Novacek in motion. Emmitt Smith gets a couple. 3rd down and 9, Eagles show a blitz. They're not coming. Aikman, with time, goes right for Novacek. Big catch. That's enough to move the chain. Well, he's an all-pro starter again this year, and he slumped horribly at the middle of the season. Matter of fact, the last game these two teams played, Novacek dropped a couple.
Number 84 is Novacek going against 59, Seth Joyner. I think Joyner has interception on his mind as he cuts inside looking for the pick. But that was a perfect throw by Aikman, high to the outside, taking advantage of Novacek's height at 6 feet 4 inches tall.
Troy Aikman said that Jay Novacek has to have a big day today. If the Cowboys are to win, he expects him to do so, because he thinks the Eagles will key on Emmitt Smith and stop him, as they did on that play.
And he wants Jay to get loose on 1st and 2nd down and a lot of those short intermediate routes the Cowboys like to run so much. But it was kind of unusual to hear Aikman say, when I asked him who has to play well for you, just give me one guy. He says, without a doubt, it's got to be Novacek.
His second choice might surprise you a little bit.
He said it would be Kelvin Martin in 3rd down situations, because he realizes that the Eagles are going to be looking for Irvin and for Emmitt Smith.
2nd down and 9, 3-0. Philadelphia leads it. Aikman straight drop Not much pressure. Goes deep and misfires. Novacek, who is open with Byron Evans covering him. And it will be 3rd and 9.
And everybody that plays the Eagles, they want to run right in this triangle here because of guys like Simmons and Reggie White and Seth Joyner. If they're going to have any success, they've got to move Golick and Harmon out of the way. But this man, Byron Evans, he leads the team in tackles with over 150. It's a lot of action right in that triangle.
Reggie White finds his spot. 5:39 to go. 3rd and 9. We're in the first quarter of play. Trap play. Emmitt Smith. Perfect call by Norval Turner. A gain of 16 up the middle.
Up the middle's the key, Vern, right in that little triangle we're talking about. Mark Stepnoski's going to the Pro Bowl. He's our center. Watch him push Reggie White right out of the hole. And it's just a huge gaping hole for Emmitt Smith. He takes the ball inside the 20. Reggie thinking pass all the way. Perfect call by Turner and company.
Gain of 16 and a first down at the 18-17-yard line. Under 5 minutes remaining. First quarter, 3-0 Philadelphia. This is Michael Irvin in motion. And again, Aikman will throw it. Or scramble. Down to the 11. Tackle is made by Seth Joyner. And a gain of 6.
When the Cowboys get down in this area, they take care of business. 56 times they've been here. Got 30 touchdowns and 16 field goals. But they're going against the Eagles. And Reggie White told us yesterday, this is where that defense really gets tough. They are very defensive about guarding that end zone. They don't mind a team coming away with a field goal, but they don't want to give up that touchdown.
2nd down and 4. Ball play again. And Emmitt Smith stutters up the middle and may have moved it enough to also move the chain. It's a gain of 6.
Emmitt Smith hasn't missed a game in his career with the Cowboys because he avoids the big hit. Probably better than any running back I've ever seen, and he's very conscious about it. Watch as he just bobs and weaves in this hole, sliding and always going forward. Keeps his head and shoulders low, and defensive guys never get a clean head-on shot on Emmitt Smith.
18 rushing touchdowns this year. That set a Cowboy club record. It's 1st and goal at the 5. Eric Tunnell in motion. They hand it to Smith. And he is popped by Eric Allen and John Booty as he's tackled also by Byron Evans at the 2-yard line.
And just to punctuate the point that Reggie made about guarding that defense, that end zone, they've only given up 4 rushing touchdowns all year. One of those came last week against the Saints. And that's why Byron Evans coming over, mirroring the halfback Smith and making a big hit.
2nd and goal from the 3. 2:45 to go, first quarter. Mark Stepnoski over the ball. Backs in the eye. Tunnell in motion. Run blitz. Flags all over the place. And here's Tom White.
Offside. Number 92 defense. Half the distance to the goal.
Reggie White is offside.
Here's Reggie all the way to the outside here. They're all jumping. They could have called about 3 or 4 Eagles on that jailbreak that time.
Kevin Gogan has come in, and that's normal in goal line. Easy for me to say. Goal line in short yardage situations, number 66. 2nd down, 3-0 Philadelphia with 2:10 to go. Opening quarter of play. Play action into the end zone. Derek Tunnell, a one-time teammate of Aikman's at UCLA, and just signed after the regular season concluded.
Watch him right here. Watch also Rose and there. One of these two men have him in pass coverage. I think it's Rose because he's coming out kind of lost. He gets hit on the chin, and Tennell is wide open. But he knows that Cowboy tradition of taking that football and putting it on your mantle at home. Don't let anybody have that one.
Lynn Elliott's extra point is up and good.
So both teams showing why they deserve to be in this game, with the Eagles and the Cowboys starting with excellent first drive, mixing up the run and the pass. But it was mistakes on special teams that were the biggest plays of the first quarter. First, Isaac Holt jumped offside on the punt, and that kept the Eagles' drive alive. That culminated in the field goal. And then on the kickoff, Ruzak mishit the ball, and the Cowboys returned it all the way to the Eagles' 46-yard line. It's my belief that this game will be decided on special teams or turnovers, and in between, we're going to see some great football. So don't go away. Welcome back. Well, the play of a somewhat flat first quarter at Texas Stadium was this 40-yard Calvin Martin kickoff return that set up the Cowboys' touchdown drive. Both teams' defenses came to the fore in the second quarter. Philadelphia managed just one first down as they were forced to punt 4 times. And Dallas managed only 2 as they punted 3 times. We rejoin the action with the Cowboys in possession with just over 3 minutes left in the half.
First and 10, Dallas with a 7-3 lead. Aikman pumps once and finds Michael Irvin, who has not been a factor in this ball game thus far, at the 37-yard line. That's his first catch.
Aikman has been struggling, so Turner is going to keep things short for him, as we saw with that pass, Vern, to Irvin. But the Cowboys aren't going to give up on their running game. Emmitt Smith is such an important part of this offense with all the yards that he can give you. Watch Turner just keep pounding it to Emmitt.
Novacek in motion. And here's the handoff. He broke it. That'll move the chain. Nice pickup by Emmitt Smith to the 44-yard line, a gain of 7.
Cowboys don't have a lot of running plays, Vern. They just keep giving it to Emmitt. They have about 10 plays in the game plan on the ground. This is one of their favorites, a lead draw. You got the fullback Johnston leading Smith over the left side, and he just uses his eyes to make one play turn into 3 or 4.
Jimmy Johnson, hired in 1989, took over a team that had been 3-13 the year before. 115 to 7-9. The playoffs last year at 11-5, 13-3 this year. First Dallas team in the storied history of this franchise to ever win 13 games. And the crowds are back, and the enthusiasm is palpable in this city. Matter of fact, one chain store, grocery store, took Philadelphia cream cheese off the market for this week. You can't get any in Dallas. First and 10. Aikman pumps. Goes deep. Got a man. Alvin Harper fumbles. Picked up by the Eagles. Now they say down by contact. Dallas ball.
They're going to say the ground caused the fumble. That it was an out-and-up move by Alvin Harper against the smaller Mark McMillan, top of the screen. He's just going to make one move to the outside and then get behind McMillan. His knees were down when the ball came out. That's a good call by the official, although it came a little bit late. Cowboys have it inside the 15.
How long do you think we'd be looking at the tape if instant replay were in effect?
Oh, day or so.
First down at the 13. Aikman in trouble, scrambles, and then is popped by John Booty, who played collegiately at Texas Christian University. There's John. He is a summer employee of a television station here, WFAA in Dallas.
And Aikman's going to do his Roger Staubach imitation here. Watch him move around in the pocket, avoiding number 92, Reggie White, and then Seth Joyner. Joyner gets taken out by his own man, and then the end of this play, he's going to take on Booty. Gets knocked out of bounds, but he picks up 8 yards.
Cowboys stop the clock with 50 seconds remaining in the first half. Well, in the last meeting down between these two, it was 3-0 at the half in a very tight game, somewhat reminiscent.
And you really got to hand it to the Cowboys offense coordinator, Norv Turner, for his play selection. Remember, the Cowboys were backed up on their own 1-yard line. He called for the bomb. They get the pass interference against Eric Allen. Coming out of the 2-minute warning, he goes right to the bomb to Alvin Harper. We'll take another look at the end of the play. Harper is well behind McMillan. The ball is perfectly thrown. And his knee will touch right there, and the ball comes out a split second later. Excellent job of officiating on that play.
Second down and 2. Just outside the 5. 51 seconds to go in the first half. Snell in motion. Aikman looking left all the way. Fires, caught, touchdown, Novacek. Catches in the regular season. He'll start in the Pro Bowl. And as we said earlier, had some problems with drop passes when these two teams played here in Week 8 because he had a cast on his finger. But a big catch for the TD there. And Lynn Elliott's extra point is up and good.
Novacek is going to line up on the left side here. A lot of attention is over on this side. A lot of Eagles are thinking here. You can even see the defensive back looking in. But watch as Novacek gets inside the linebacker, and Aikman cannot throw a better pass low into the outside as Novacek beats William Thomas for the touchdown. Again, good play selection as the motion went to the far side of the field. Drew the attention of the Eagles that way, and they forgot all about number 84.
Novacek and Troy Aikman both going to the Pro Bowl in Hawaii. They are joined by their offensive teammates Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin, Mark Stepnoski, and Nate Newton, who said when he was selected, people used to laugh at me because I was a fat free agent. Well, they can laugh at me now in my grass skirt.
That's a lot of skirt, too. We talked about Aikman only being 3 out of 10. Well, on that drive, yeah, you see all this. He's got to cover up with that grass skirt. Aikman was 3 out of 3. The big play to Harper, and then the touchdown to Novacek.
From the 35, Lynn Elliott will kick it off. High and short. Taken by Sikahema at the 17. Fumble! Dallas ball. Thomas Everett has it in his hands. Chad Hennings, a former Air Force pilot, getting into a little combat on the sideline.
The kickoff hems Sikahema in on the sidelines, and the Cowboys concentrate their coverage to that side. It's number 28, Darren Woodson, with another big special teams play that causes the fumble. This guy doesn't fumble very often either. Watch Woodson punch it out with his right hand. And it looks like Thomas Everett got it.
And he gets it just inside the 30-yard line by Sikahema, who has been a standout on special teams this year. Dallas. Aikman across the middle. Kelvin Martin at the 26. What did you think of Jimmy Johnson's game plan as he described it to us on Friday?
Yeah, he told us he feels comfortable with his defense. Obviously, they're the #1 defense in the league, but he also felt comfortable with his special teams because of the play of Woodson and Gant. He was a little bit worried about the Eagle defense, thought they might have an edge as far as their ability to create turnovers and give his offense some problems. So his game plan was to play it very conservatively offense, close to the vest, be patient, move the chains down the field, and let's let those other 2 units on our team make the plays that may decide it.
Aikman, second down, across the middle. Caught in the crossing pattern, and Kelvin and Martin goes out of bounds. That's a gain of 12, and it stops the clock with 26 seconds remaining in the first half.
We're seeing for the Cowboys a hot quarterback right now, 5 in a row for Aikman after a shaky start. He's settled down. That offensive line has kept the Eagles away from him.
1 timeout left for Dallas. They have a first down and 10, and my goodness. My gracious.
Yeah, the playoff clock was running down. Novacek wasn't set yet, and that will be discussed on the sidelines as that's the Cowboys' last timeout. You would love to be able to save that one for at least one more try at a touchdown or a field goal.
Troy Aikman comes to the Cowboys sideline. And that is the final timeout, acknowledged by Jimmy Johnson, who said he felt very confident about his team's preparation this week in hosting Philadelphia. They had, I found it interesting that even though they were defeated, it would seem soundly in the first game this year, 31-7, he saw a lot to like in that game about his team.
Well, they moved the ball. And offensively, they haven't been able to do that in the past. What killed them in that game were turnovers. Aikman threw an interception when it looked like the Cowboys were going to go in for a touchdown. And that's the big buzzword for Jimmy Johnson is avoid that turnover.
First down and 10. Novacek in motion, followed by Frizzell. Aikman falling as he lets it go for Kelvin Martin. Incomplete. It'll be second down.
You just don't have any time to throw against these guys. They're so good at rushing the passer. That time it was Clyde Simmons bringing his 19 sacks back to Aikman. Number 96 working against 2A. And then you got Reggie on the other side. And Reggie is going to be the one to take Aikman's legs away from him and cause that incompletion.
Reggie White, who said he grew up as a Cowboy fan, and he in particular admired Randy White. Chattanooga, Tennessee, used to get the games periodically. Also was a big fan of Harvey Martin. Here's Aikman. Caught at the 2. No time left. No timeouts, rather. So they've got to hurry. That's Michael Irvin.
They got plenty of time, Vern. He can get his team to the line of scrimmage and spike the ball and then bring on the field goal kicker.
There it is. 4 seconds remaining. And we will see Lynn Elliott. But they are apparently going to have to settle for 3 when they might have had 7.
Yep, they had to call that timeout because of the play clock running down and not being set in their formation. So this field goal could have been a touchdown, or at least a try for one.
Saw the graphic on Elliott. He missed 2 easy shots against Philadelphia that sent him to 6-14 start this year, but then came back and hit the next 13 in a row. And this one is not the most artistic looking thing I've ever seen, but he got it through. Matter of fact, it was ugly.
It was ugly, but that's a pretty 14-point lead.
They're right, it certainly was ugly, but the Dallas Cowboys leading it 17-3. Well, for the second half of that game, the highlights from yesterday from Gary and a whole lot more. Join us after this break. Before we go back to Dallas for the second half of our game, let's see what the well-traveled Mr. Imlach has for us this week.
Well, we start with a wrap of yesterday's divisional playoff action. Although I understand we did advertise it this week, there's really no excuse for not tuning in. Anyway, first up was the AFC game between the Bills and the Steelers. It was 10 years to the day since Pittsburgh's last home playoff game, The sellout crowd had the terrible towels out, a throwback to the Steelers' great days. And early on, the defense played like the Steelers of old, sacking Frank Reich and holding the Bills on 4th and 1 to set up a field goal for a 3-0 lead. But slowly, Frank Reich played himself into the game and started finding his receivers. First Don Beebe down near the goal line, then the widest receiver on the Bills roster, offensive lineman Mitch Frurote for the touchdown. Well, that was all the scoring in the first half. At the start of the second, though, the Bills got their most potent offensive weapon, Thurman Thomas, into the game, and he picked up a couple of key first downs before Reich went up top and James Lofton pulled it down for a 14-3 Buffalo lead. The Bills' injury-hit defense played their part too, getting to Pittsburgh quarterback Neil O'Donnell 7 times for sacks. A Steve Christie field goal and this 1-yard touchdown run near the end by Carwell Gardner finished off the Steelers and put the Bills into the AFC Championship game for the 3rd straight season. In California, the 7-year drought finally seems to be over, which is good news for the farmers, but it doesn't make for ideal football conditions. There were 8 turnovers in the game between the Redskins and the 49ers, 4 of them by San Francisco quarterback Steve Young in his first playoff start. He did throw a couple of touchdown passes, though, this one through the hands of Washington's A.J. Johnson on its way to John Taylor, and then one in and out of the hands of Brent Jones, who was fortunate to be ruled to have recovered the ball in the end zone. San Francisco led 17-3 at half-time, but then Steve Young's attempted pass was inexplicably called a fumble by the officials, and the momentum began to swing towards Washington. Mark Rippon hit Ernest Biner, who battled down to the 1-yard line, and a couple of plays later, Rippon, and you'll have to take my word for this, went in for the touchdown. With a field goal, the Skins were suddenly within 4 points, but in the closing minutes, Steve Young, starting from his own 24, put together a 13-play drive to set up Mike Cofer from 33 yards out. That left the Skins needing a touchdown to send the game into overtime, but a couple of Pierce Holt sacks on Mark Rippon stopped the defending Super Bowl champs, and the Niners will be back on their home mud for the NFC Championship game next week. Well, it may still be the postseason in San Francisco and Buffalo, but elsewhere around the league, the sacking season is already underway. As you probably know, last week, New York Giants fans finally got their wish when Ray Handley was fired for not having enough control over his team of aging veterans. While in Denver, Dan Reeves suffered the same fate, apparently for having too much control of team affairs for owner Pat Boland's liking. Well, this week, both of them were joined by Chicago's Mike Ditka, who lost control of himself early in the season, while the Bears, uncharacteristically, just lost.
Scripture tells you that all things shall pass. This too shall pass. Regrets, just a few, but too few to remember.
Mike apparently finding solace in those old standbys, the Bible and the Frank Sinatra songbook there. But he should be coaching somewhere next season, although I wish I could say the same for Dick McPherson, out of work in his 60s after missing half of his second season with the New England Patriots through stomach surgery. It's a tough business, but that's what you get for going 2-14. And talking of ruthlessness, how's this for instant retribution? Last Sunday you saw the Oilers blow a 32-point lead to the Bills, and the next day Houston fired their animated defensive coordinator, Jim Eddy, and their secondary coach, Pat Thomas. For Kansas City, it was the offense that let them down in their playoff loss to San Diego, so no prizes for guessing who Marty Schottenheimer took it out on. 3 offensive assistants, including the running backs coach, all fired. The question now, of course, is who's going to fill all these vacancies? Well, in some cases, the answers will have to wait until the playoffs are over, because the key candidates are still involved with their current teams. For example, the favourite for the Giants job, defensive coordinator Dave Wanstedt, is on the sideline for the Cowboys today, while 49ers offensive coordinator Mike Shanahan is favourite to take over at Denver. San Francisco's win over Washington, though, does mean that Richie Pettibone, the Skins' respected defensive planner, is now free to talk to the Bears about their head coaching vacancy. You know, Mick, when the sacked coaches roundup is longer than the action roundup in the playoffs, you know something's going slightly wrong.
I think the amazing thing on that, Gary, is that last year there were 9 coaches fired. Now there's another 4. That's 13 in probably around 12 months. That's almost 50% of the entire league. I mean, surely this is it. And where do they go from here?
Well, you're absolutely right. I thought there was no more really left to be fired. I just hope Mike Ditka's coaching somewhere next season, so I've got something to put in inside stuff.
That one surprised me the most. I think having Ditka out of Chicago, who the heck is the main man now? They've got no one to fall to. Singletary's gone. Richard Dent, well, he hasn't played well in a long time. The Fridge, well, he's still putting on weight, but he's not the man he used to be. they certainly need a marquee man in Dallas again. In Dallas again? No, not in Dallas again, in Chicago. But Mike would love to be in Dallas again because he did actually coach there before going to Chicago. But back in Dallas, much of the first half, both teams appeared very tentative. Then Troy Aikman took it deep to Alvin Harper, and that set up this Jay Novacek touchdown. Now, this is 2 good passes in a row by Aikman, and perhaps that's something to come in the second half. Then Sikahema fumbled the ensuing kickoff, which set up the field goal, giving the Cowboys a 2-touchdown advantage. But remember, the great Saints defense were leading these same Eagles by 13 last week, and they're now watching this game at home. And just like last week, Randall must come out in the second half and make things happen with his own running of the ball and in the air. But remember, the Cowboys have the #1 defense in the league, so it won't be easy. As for the defense of the Eagles, I think we're going to see a whole lot more blitzing, so it should be a great half.